Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a weekly garden tour here from my now Zone 8 Central North Carolina garden. Well, I will confess I have made zero progress in getting anything accomplished in the garden since my last weekly garden tour, but I did want to tell you all that we had an incredible rainstorm in which we got 4.5 inches of rain yesterday. Thankfully here we didn't have any trouble with tornadoes, although I know in other parts of the Raleigh area there were tornadoes that touched down. We didn't have that happen here in Fuquay, at least not near my house. We did have some strong winds and of course exceptionally warm weather followed by cold weather. And the forecasts, though I want to complain about it, is exactly as it should be. It's cold, it's 50s and upper 20s, low 30s. It's exactly the weather we should be having in December. I don't like it, I'm not gonna lie about that. I've been cold to the bone all day and I haven't even been outside very much. It's just really absurd. But I am motivated to try and get the last couple of beds cleaned up and reseeded here in the next week or so. You know, my aim was to wait on some of the beds and do them mid-December and even try and wait and do some in January so that I could really show the differentiation between early seeding and late seeding. I'm on track for getting that accomplished because, well, I've literally made no progress getting the wave cleared or getting the big property border bed cleared behind me. But let me turn this camera around and show you how the garden is looking now that we're into the second week of December. Well, since we're right here at the back porch, I can definitely go ahead and reel in this hose, so I'm not going to need to water for the rest of the week. You can see the blueberries are almost completely deciduous at this stage. They had great fall color, but they are dropping their leaves now. Again, having cool temperatures is great. These are all varieties that have about 600 to 750 hours of cold chill required for flowers to set. And cold chill hours refer to how many hours you have below 42 degrees. So we're gonna start racking in the cold chill hours now. And as you can see, the direct seeding that was done about a month ago, everything is growing really, really well. Kind of getting to the stage where I could probably take these cages away, but I think I'm gonna leave them for a little while longer. You can see a lot of mustard. That is this scalloped leaf, kind of nice dark green. Actually, it's more yellow is the mustard. This is kale. See, now that they've got true leaves, you can really differentiate. That was part of the spicy greens mix that I sold this fall. And of course the lupins are doing really well. The garlic border, lots and lots of larkspur. That right there is larkspur. There's some crimson clover coming in. And then of course poppies are mixed in as well. So this border is going to be spectacular. I'm really pleased with the density of the plantings. Here in the feed tank, I've got some fava beans that are growing as well. These were seeded at the same time as all of the other seedlings. And fava beans are definitely a better winter crop for us here in North Carolina. And to give you guys another view, lots and lots and lots of poppies. And of course, California poppies mixed in as well. That is that highly dissected leaf there. And the feed tank bed is looking good. Getting this much rain is super helpful. It's gonna make a big difference in keeping the ground moist. But a bit disappointed not seeing more germination in here. But I did toss out some more seeds. I see a bunch of poppies coming up though, so that is all good news. But remember, anywhere where there's ground plane that's not engaged, is an opportunity for weeds to get established, and I don't want that to happen. So be paying close attention there. Now I've got everything tucked in tonight because we're getting down into the 20s, upper 20s. And just wanted to show you the broccolis in the tower garden. So far, no flowers on any of these. That's not true. Look, it's a little baby broccoli starting to form here. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they will start to produce, because I'd really like to be able to harvest some of this for holiday meals. I haven't done any of the cutbacks, so no progress there. But we had a lot of wind, so you see a bunch of stuff is knocked over, and Reginald's over here on the hunt for something. Hey, little man. Did you want to say hi? Hi. He has the appropriate outfit with his giant fur coat. And you see these pots are all looking nice. And of course the arugula back here is on point and it's totally delicious. I really would like to go ahead and get these bananas and asparagus cut back so that this bed will look neater and tidier. I just need to go ahead and do it. I am hopeful that we will have some clear, albeit cool weather all week long, so I'll be able to come out to the garden and get some things accomplished. Not much new to report in the greenhouse other than that I have got a bunch of plants from First Editions that will be going into the ground at some point. I'm not sure when. I do still have some violas in a flat that I need to go ahead and just get planted once and for all. And let's check and see how everything's doing on this side. Oh yeah, these broccolis are looking good. Definitely a bit more advanced. You can see nice heads there. I think the cauliflowers are also starting to produce. Very small still, but something to come. And of course the cabbages, look at that. Nice little head of cabbage there. So we'll leave those at least a few more weeks, and I don't need to harvest everything at once. That's one of the tricks to growing heading vegetables, is to succession plant them so you're not stuck with all of them at one time. And you know, I've got some broccolis planted on this side, and well, in general everything is looking good. It's looking hydrated, and I do see the deer are coming and nibbling a bit here. I just taught some classes on poppies and cottage gardening this weekend, and kept saying how they only grow where you don't want them to. And of course, here's the prime example. These are the Shirley poppy or the corn poppy, and they're really happy and healthy living in the walkway. Of course they are. And there are literally none in the bed. That is precisely what poppies do. They like undisturbed soil. And the only time that they really self-sow is not usually where you want them to be. Well, I've got a lot of camellias that have started blooming early, and I see these ones have fallen, but that's not going to prevent me from putting them into a floating arrangement. This is Tama Americana, and it really is a spectacular variety. It's the second one. And then back here I've noticed Lucio's Cameo is starting to bloom. And I'm gonna go ahead and pluck it because we're gonna be cold tonight and it'll end up getting cold damage. You can see this is a really spectacular formal double pink. I really love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick that right now. And last week we went to Weston Farms and elfed around in the workshop and made some spectacular magnolia holiday decorations, including this huge wreath, which is too large for any of our doors. So I'm using it to really kind of spice up this table on our back patio. And of course, I have been using the Allium Schubertii blooms from last spring in all of my holiday decorations, and I actually have these as the tree topper in both houses. So it's a great way to bring in elements from the garden. I don't think there is anything more spectacular to be on top of your tree than an Allium Schubertii bloom. Well, walking over here, again, I haven't gotten anything accomplished, so there's nothing new to report. Definitely need to do some cutbacks, definitely need to do some weeding, and I'd like to overseed this bed with poppies. So I have a lot of good stuff germinating in here, there aren't any poppies, because again, poppies don't like to be, they won't self-sow in disturbed soil. And I replant this bed for the summer, and we rake over it, and that's what makes the soil disturbed, so the poppies won't self-sow. We've got a whole lot of nigella and a whole lot of larkspur, and then a whole lot of bad stuff. I will definitely make a video showing you all that is in here when I do finally tackle it. And I'm definitely pleased with how this bed is looking. We did this on the second day of the seed sale and cottage gardening demo, and lots of stuff is germinating. Again, you can see brassicas, we're starting to get some true leaves, so I think this is mustard. Got lots of Ischolzia. Some other problem plants as well. I'm seeing common vetch, which is really my main nemesis. Lots of Carolina geranium, which is also a huge problem. But overall, I'm pleased with how this border is looking, and I'm really grateful to have gotten the rain, because this bed has been hard to keep watered. Really hard to keep watered. Mangave update. They haven't all melted completely. You can see Spotty Dotty, the older leaves are melted, but the inner is still good. It looks to me like the deer have actually gone ahead and started nibbling on these ones that are pretty well not making it. See, that lavender lady there is definitely not gonna overwinter, but good experiment. I'm definitely gonna stick to my guns and say they're not hardy here. I don't care that we are zone 8 now. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, are you guys ready for my zone map change rant? I totally understand, and I don't disregard the data. I believe that it's absolutely accurate. It's not a belief. It's data. However, as a gardener and a horticulturalist, the average low temperature is completely meaningless, because that means that some years you're warmer and some years you're much colder, and in those colder years, all your plants are gonna die. So I will not be changing any of my habits. I don't care what zone I am. I know from experience, zone 8 plants aren't reliably hardy here. So the zone map telling me I'm in zone 8 now doesn't mean I should go out to the nursery and buy a bunch of stuff that is likely not actually going to be hardy. And really, I think the USDA drops this and then they walk away from it, and they don't have any responsibility for communicating what it actually means to people. And it gets everybody confused, and it's a complete nightmare for people like me who work in the industry trying to disseminate information to the general public. And I am so frustrated with the zone map change because, well, the bottom line is it's not enough information for you to be able to make good decisions based off of. So what I'm saying right now is I'm not doing anything different, and I don't care that the zone now says I'm in zone 8. I'm going to act like I am in zone 7 because I know those plants are reliable and zone 8 plants aren't. And that is the best advice that I can give all of you. You know, I think what the zone map change obviously signifies is that we are in a warming trend globally. And that is really not even disputable at this point. However, our temperature fluctuations cause a whole different realm of problems as far as plant hardiness goes. And so that zone map doesn't really mean enough. It doesn't have enough data points other than average low to be able to make it so that you can make rational decisions. So please, please, please do not take that map too literally. I just wanted to gather that though I was ranting to all of you, I had an audience of furry cats. And of course, they like this weather. I don't. Although I say they like it, they come in and out like 4,000 times a day. So they might not like it that much. Well, you can see lots of germination here in the main cottage garden border. This we also did for the class back, I think, on November 18th. I have not dealt with the wave, so no updates there. I have a lot of cutbacks. I have a lot of mowing that I'd like to get done. And I know I will do it, and it won't take long. It's just today wasn't going to be the day. Today wasn't the day for it. I'm cold to the bone, and I have a lot of computer work. Wanted to show you the Lindera. It's now in its tawny stage. It'll stay this way until new leaves start to emerge in the spring. And I would assume, I haven't walked over here all week, but there's probably not much to report. The Chinese fringe tree is still holding on to most of its foliage, but that'll be off soon. Oh, score, you guys. The October Affair is in bloom. And it does have some cold damage. You can see the browning inside those flowers, but this one looks pretty good. I think I'll go ahead and snap that off. And you see the trick there is to snap it off whole so that it'll float properly and it doesn't let all the petals fall off. And then the sweet, what is this? Winter sweet is in bloom, and it is so wonderful. And here I've got, it's impossible to photograph, but it really is a spectacular thing, and it smells so, so good. And everybody always asks, so I'll go ahead and say it, the green and white variegated foliage that I use in my floating arrangements is an Alstroemeria. This is a hardy perennial here, and it'll get nipped back if we get below 15 degrees, but right now it's doing its thing. I really, really love it. And in case you were wondering, the mangave flowers are all definitely totally nipped. That was from when we got down to 20 degrees week before last. So they're definitely, I don't think they're gonna set any seed. But I am pleased to show you this mangave does not look anywhere near as damaged as those smaller ones on that other front border. And it might just be that this is a more protected microclimate. So maybe this one will come through for the winter season. Well, everybody, my hands are cold and my nose is running, so I'm going to go inside. But I do hope you enjoyed this weekly garden tour, and I look forward to sharing more updates. Hopefully I will get actually some things accomplished in the garden this week, and I am very excited to share that we will be doing a big cottage garden seeding at the Cape Fear Botanic Garden down in Fayetteville tomorrow. So my aim is to try and get that recorded so that we can share the experience with all of you. Well, as always, thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening!